What's up, everyone? Hope you're having a great Saturday. How many of you watched my video about the 4 bands? Now, I'm not saying that only those 4 bands are going to be around in 2100. I know I won't be around in 2100, but the criteria for my video was looking at Spotify streaming numbers, and some people in the comments are like, "Oh, Spotify streaming numbers, that doesn't count." You know, older people still listen to CDs. It's like, not that many people listen to CDs. Let's be realistic here. The criteria was for artists that haven't released a record in 30 years. Could put ABBA on there because ABBA, if you don't count the record that they released a couple years ago, they would be on that list, and they've got over 30 million monthly listeners. I mean, there's other exceptions. Elton John's got 52 million monthly listeners, but he's continued to put out music. So of the artists that haven't put out anything, Queen by far is just way ahead. Beatles 36 million, Nirvana 31, The Police 29 million, and Queen is 52 million. Pretty amazing. But much bigger than them is a band that has the most streamed song of all time, which of course is The Weeknd. And it's the song Blinding Lights. It has 4.2 billion streams. It is the most streamed song ever. It happens to be a great song, too. This is a song that some people have not heard it. I'm not sure who they are, but I think that I think there's a reason. I want to analyze this song today for why it people listen to it so many times over. It's really it's a fascinating song. It's an incredibly well-written song, melodically, harmonically. There's something about it that makes you want to listen to it over and over, and it's only 4 chords. And but I think that there's actually an interesting thing about these 4 chords. It's that, and I'm going to play it right now, but it's that the tonic of the song, to me, it could easily be analyzed in a major key, but you could also do it in a minor key because it starts on a minor chord. I just saw up here, so in the comments section, you'll see that you can click on the annual sale of the Ultimate Bundle for $89. The sale is only going on through Tuesday. I've run it for the last 3 weeks. You can get all 4 of my courses for $89. That's my music theory course, which is my Beato Book Interactive. It's a video course. My ear training course is going to teach you how to figure out songs and melodies by ear. My beginning guitar course, and my intermediate guitar course, which is called Quick Lessons Pro. Let's get on to the song. I just real quick, I interviewed Josh Freese this past week. He was in town with A Perfect Circle. He's the new drummer of the Foo Fighters, and a phenomenal drummer. Woo! Amazing. I went to sound check and took videos up right next to him, and he played some insane stuff. Wow. Talk about, and he's on 500 plus albums as a session drummer. And there's a reason you'll see about the consistency of his drumming. Let's talk about the song, Blinding Lights. Here it is. First of all, the production is phenomenal. The Weeknd, Max Martin is one of the producers and one of the songwriters. He's the pretty much most important songwriter of the last generation.
I've been trying to call.
F minor.
I've been on my own for long
C minor.
enough. Maybe you can show me how
B
to
flat
love.
major.
Maybe
B flat major.
I'm going through a drought. You don't even have to do too much. You can turn me
So
on
here's the
just
notes.
a touch, baby. I look how it and empty. No one's around to judge me. I can see clearly when you're gone. I said, I'm blinded by the love.
So the melody here, let me turn up my volume here on so you can hear the music a little louder here on loopback. The melody is, for the most part, a pentatonic melody. Tell me if this is better with my voice volume. When I say a pentatonic melody, let's see what Aaron says if my voice is too low here. What's he say here? Music is loud, voice is quiet. Okay, turn the music down a little bit. Here we go. There we go. This will be better. Okay, so this is a pentatonic melody here. Here's a weird thing. The chord, so F minor, C minor, E flat major, B flat major. If we talk about this song as being an E flat major, you'd say, okay, simply it's 2 to 6 to 1 to 5. But because there's this D natural that happens one time in the verse that leads into the chorus, for the most part it sounds like a C minor pentatonic melody, yet it starts on F minor. Well, you could say, well, you could say it's E flat major pentatonic. But it doesn't sound like it's in a major key, right? It sounds like it's in a minor key. It sounds like it's F minor since it keeps coming back to F minor. So then you're like, well, what kind of F minor is it? Because it's not natural minor. Well, it's really a Dorian sounding melody, okay? So what does Dorian mean? What is that? You've heard me talk about this if you watch this channel for a long time. I used to make a lot of videos on modes. Dorian is the mode that goes with the second chord in a major scale, okay? So the modes go in a particular order. Ionian is the one more mode, Dorian's 2, Phrygian's 3, Lydian is the 4th mode, Mixolydian's the 5th mode, Aeolian's the 6th mode, and Locrian is in the 7th mode. So when somebody says that a song is in Dorian, they're meaning that it sounds like a minor because it belongs with the 2 chord. Okay, the 2 chord is always minor. Chords in a major key are 1, 4, and 5. Think of a blues are major chords. So if you're in the key of E flat major, 1 chord, 4 chord, which is A flat, and 5 chord are major. 1, 4, 5, 1. The 2, 3, and 6, 2, 3, 6 are minor chords. That would be F minor, G minor, C minor, right, are minor chords. And the 7th chord in the key is a diminished chord. That not used very commonly, almost never used in songs. So when I hear this thing, when I hear the beginning of it, just listen to it. It starts with this. Starts with this F minor, right? I love the bass line. It's everything about the production is perfect.
I've been trying to call. I've been on my own for long enough. Maybe you can show me how to love. Maybe.
I love that.
I'm going through a drought. You don't even have to do too much. You can turn me on with just a touch, baby. I look around since city's cold and empty. No one's around to judge me. I can see clearly when you're gone.
So right there, that is the only time you hear this note, D, okay? And it happens, it happens on the B flat major chord. And that because it's so pentatonic-y, if that's a word, pentatonic-y, up until there, when you hear that one different note, because it's the melody has leaves that note out right until before the chorus. And then when you hear it, it just grabs your ear immediately. It makes you go, whoa, wow, that's great. And it sets up the chorus perfectly. And what I really love about it is that the production is perfect. It has an 80s sound, 80s drum machine sound. It has a very fat synth bass. It's got just the right reverb on the voice, and it's a perfect melody. I mean, it really flows naturally. Listen to the transition in the chorus.
No one's around to judge me. I can see clearly when you're
And also when everything drops out there right before the chorus and it pops back in. No bass note. Notice that? That's another great part there. It's another hook. On the E flat major chord. Outlining that E flat major with that add 9. Add 9 chords like that are really strong melodically. Any type of melodic line for improvising, for melodies. That's why I do a lot of I play a lot of add 9 sounds. I play a lot of add 9 major sound. I play a lot of minor add 9s as well. That'd be an F minor add 9. This is E flat major. E flat major add 9. I think that they have a particular something about them that's very powerful. The 9th being the first note that's in the scale that's outside of the scale. If you take an E flat major scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's the 9th. So you got the 8 notes, root, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You're back to the root, and then that note, the 9th. That 9th leads back. The 9th wants to resolve back to the root, right? It's like an upper neighbor tone. So if I'm in the E flat major, the 4th wants to resolve the 3rd. 6th wants to go to the 5th. Those particular notes are really strong notes. They're good to hold on that 9th. You see 9ths in songs like, there's 9th, that interval. Sting uses it all the time. It's very, very common in songs. You've heard Dave Matthews. 9ths are really powerful melodically. Pretty much every song that I've done a lot of songs. I did a song last week that had a lot of 9ths and 11s in it. I talked about the song. What was I talking about? Aaron, what was the song I talked about? The Look of Love. It starts with that 11th, minor 11th chord and goes to, then it goes to the minor 9 chord. Once again, these upper extensions, they're what make melodies beautiful.
I said, ooh, I'm drowning in the night.
also love the way that B flat chord there kind of explodes, the voicing on it. This is the most streamed song of all time, pretty much by far. Once again, I love the swell that leads into this. Beautiful production thing. Listen. They have that shh, and then they have the claps that go with it. It's really perfect production. Okay, somebody's like, how advanced is your ear training? What is this? Aaron has a poll here. Need to practice. I don't know what this is. Aaron, what is this? Are you running a poll right now? I never broke down what Depeche Mode. I did break down. I did. Never heard the song before. See, this is what is amazing right now, is that there's plenty of people on this stream that have never heard this song, and I made a video with my friend Rich recently, and we talked about monoculture of music. And what that is that pretty much before the internet, everybody was fed the same music, right? If everyone knew all the biggest songs, people knew all Michael Jackson songs, they knew Nirvana songs, they knew Beatles songs, they knew Led Zeppelin songs, they knew Who songs. Everybody knew those at the time, depending on what decade it was, right? But now with streaming, you can have a song like this that is the most streamed song of all time, and there's people on here that's like, I've never heard this song. What is this song? I have no idea. Pretty amazing, really amazing. That's kind of why. This is kind of the siloing of people because of algorithms. Okay, how advanced is your ear training? Need to practice? Good, very advanced. Poll completed. How advanced is my ear training course? I don't know if that's what Aaron's asking there. Aaron, is that what you're asking here? Is that what the poll is? Or you're asking me that? My ear training course starts out very basically, if that's what's being asked here, simply tone identification, like what pitch is higher than the other. Literally starts out that simple. Is this pitch higher or lower than the next? And then we start with simple intervals. What is a major second? What is a minor second? Okay. When I say something's a pentatonic melody, how do I know that? Well, because I listen to it and I hear this. So I'm singing this pentatonic melody there. That's I was thinking of that in C minor or E flat major. That's relative major and minor. Why is this important to know this stuff? Like, why is it important to be able to hear these things by ear and figure them out? If you hear a song like this and you want to play it, and it's only 4 chords, and you can follow the bass motion of it, this is what I teach people to do, is to listen for things. Key in, is the first chord major or minor? Well, how do you know? Well, it has kind of a sad sound to it, right? When I hear this sound here, that's an F minor chord. Now, you don't have to know it's an F minor chord. You just have to be able to recognize it's a minor chord. This chord is a minor chord, but then it goes to a major chord. To me, a major chord is a brighter, if you'd call it a happier sound. Major chord, minor chord, darker, sad, however you want to put it, right? And being able to recognize these things is very important. So then the next thing is to figure out what the relationship of the chords are. That's probably the first thing that you actually do. And you use intervals to do that, right? So you have this first chord here that's F minor, and it moves da da down a fourth interval, then up a third, minor third, da da, down a perfect fourth, then up a fifth, down a fourth, up a minor third, down a fourth. Just knowing those intervals there, if you can do that, this is the basic stuff. This is where ear training actually comes in. This is where ear training comes in, and it's so helpful. Is just if you just do that, if you go da ba ba ba, that's a fourth, ba 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 ba, minor third up, ba ba, perfect fourth down, ba ba, perfect fifth up, ba 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 ba. So once you know the bass motion, you know the first chord's a minor chord, the second chord's a minor chord, the third chord's a major chord, and the fourth chord's a major chord. And that's it. That's the whole song. Whether this is the best song or not, that's a completely different thing. But this is the most streamed song of all time. When I say streamed, this is streaming between this on Spotify, on Apple. And when people say, "Oh, it's because of the video or whatever," well, it's because it's been streamed on Spotify because people are listening to the song. Tyler said it's objectively a well-produced song. I would say that for sure. It's a perfectly produced song. It's interesting too because the timbre is a word that we don't talk about on here very often. The timbre. What does that mean? It looks like timbre, Timbre. But timbre is the tone of something, right? And the timbre can be like being able to recognize the difference between a violin and a guitar. Like, what is the difference between them? You might be able to say, well, a guitar is plinky sounding, or it's this or it's that. Well, a guitar can be anything. A guitar can sound like a violin. If you hear Eric Johnson, right? Guitars can have many timbres, but typically acoustic guitars, have a very sharp attack and then a quick decay, okay? Whereas a synthesizer, like here, you play this thing and it's a pad, and sometimes the pads ramp up a little bit, but then they just hold until you release them and move to the next one. And many times you release your hand and it will slightly fade and it will smoothly lead you into the next chord, right? But everything, drums have a fast transient, right? And typically will have a very quick decay unless they're not tuned well or unless it's a timpani or something, right? So these are the timbre, being able to recognize these things. Timbre, okay, and pitch are two different things. The pitch, being able to recognize the pitch of things and being able to recognize the timbre are totally different things, right? Like, I know that's a drum, I know it's a bass drum or a snare drum or a cymbal, or that's a guitar, that's an oboe, that's a violin, that's a cello. You're recognizing those by the timbres. And then you have the thing about these intervals that I'm talking about. This is the ear training part of it. And then you throw in a little theory with this. What is the distance between these bass notes, right? These are great songs to do. I like songs that are, I like to start out with simple songs. Let's say, Learning to Fly, Tom Petty. Okay. These are great songs to teach people. That's why, in my ear training course, I have these 4 chord progressions that are diatonic. So it's like teaches you to hear these common progressions. So this would be 4, 1. So if we're in the key of C, this first chord, F major, is the 4 chord, goes to the 1 chord of C major, goes to the 6th chord, A minor, then to the 5 chord of G major. So it's a 4, 1, 6, 5 chord progression, okay? Blinding Lights is if we think of this in E flat major, is a 2-6-1-5 progression. Being able to recognize the combinations, since there's 7 chords in a major key, but really typically only 6 are used. If you practice it, it's pretty easy to figure out. This is why I drill these things in my ear training course. It's pretty easy to figure out songs that never change key, which is pretty much most songs nowadays. Now, if you're trying to figure out Beatles songs or something, then you got to have a much better ear. Okay? If you're thinking, there are places I remember, be like, what is that? Oh, my life, though some have changed. Now, this is a song in my life that changes keys. You gotta have a little bit better ear hair, right? So, 1, 5, 6, and then this is really an A7 chord in third inversion, A7 over G. And then it goes to the 4 chord to the 4 minor back to 1. Okay, far more sophisticated. And these are why these Beatles songs, to me, this is why the Beatles are still, and they haven't released a record in 54 years. Forget about the singles that have come out, the couple singles. A full record with the original people in the band in 54 years. And they still have 36 million monthly listeners. Now, somebody on here writes, lowest or most streamed equals least common denominator, Bryant, well, with a question mark. Well, one of the most streamed songs is Bohemian Rhapsody. Is that a least common denominator song? No, it's actually one of the most complex songs. It's one of the most streamed songs and one of the most complex songs that there is. So, no, it actually has nothing to do with that. Every Breath You Take, it's kind of a 4-chord song, except that it modulates in the bridge. It starts out in A flat major. There's your add 9 again. Then, since you not a trace, total key change in the bridge, right? That it goes to this E major. It does a 4-5 or like E Lydian to F sharp major there, and then it goes back into A flat major. This is another one of those songs that kind of starts in A flat major, but it kind of sounds like an A flat major, and it's in F minor. And I think, getting back to this timbre thing, this is an interesting thing. Every Breath You Take is A flat major F minor. Blinding Lights, F minor starts on. Smells Like Teen Spirit, F minor. What is it about this? Right. What is up with F minor? There's a lot of songs that have this F minor, that are in F minor, which is a weird key to be in. What is it about F minor that I think it has a particular melancholy sound that people that don't have perfect pitch still recognize the darkness of it. Okay? I think that this is kind of a thing that a lot of you that are watching this right now actually have. You actually have a type of an ability to recognize the darkness of this. You know, when you hear this, you may hate this song, Blinding Lights, but you hear it and you're just like, it has kind of a dark sound to it. When you hear that opening chord and that F minor, if it was in E minor, it would be a completely different thing. I'll tell you another song that I love that's in F minor. And I think it's, let me find the version here. It's this this one here. I think this is an F minor. Where is it here? Yeah. Yes. Oh. Sting, I Burn For You. So dark, right? Listen. Nighttime, that dissonance. I've talked about this song so many times. Nighttime falls around. Da, da, do, 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 do. Just beautiful. Beautiful sound. Genius right there. That is the Sting is the Rembrandt of music. Oh, that's great. When I think of Rembrandt's, of the dark quality of Rembrandt's, and that's the dark quality of F minor, I think. I don't have perfect pitch, but when I hear F minor, I know, I'm like, yeah, that has something. That has something to it. And I think it just hits me on a visceral level that it's, it just has this darkness to it. And if I play you the same song, I Burn For You, but down a half step in E, listen, here it is in E. Doesn't quite, listen.
Peace we sleep and twine.
Hold on.
And your love flows through.
Hold on.
Though I know.
Here's the same song. This is I Burn For You, but in E minor.
Now that I have found you.
Listen to it.
And the cool thought of your evening smile. Or the shade of your parasol.
It has a brighter sound. Do you notice it?
Flows through me. Though I drink at your pool, I burn for
Isaac says it has more angelic in this minor. It's more ethereal, not dark. Yes! Right? Logan. Listen, it says, F minor sounds ominous. This sounds chill. And when dreamy to powerful.
Nighttime falls around our bed.
Right? You hear it.
And peace we sleep entwined.
Oh. But the melody is phenomenal in each key. Wistful.
Ocean soothes my head. I burn for you. I burn for you.
Now check this out. He's going to change from E minor to C sharp minor on the bridge. Listen to the totally different feel right here. Listen.
Stars will fall from dark skies.
Oh.
They shed rocks on terror.
Way more intense.
Quiet fills the room.
I got chills.
And your love flows
Man.
through me.
Woo!
Though I lie here so still, I burn for
This is the I Burn For You from Sting's Symphonicities.
I burn
Okay. It's funny, right? These minor keys all sound different when you start hearing them back to back, right? You heard F minor, it's like got this ominous tone. Then E minor is, what was it, wistful or whatever. Then it goes to C sharp minor, and it's really dark. It's dark and mournful or something. It's a completely different vibe. Most of us don't have perfect pitch, but we can hear the difference between these. This is what developing your ear does. It's like, how do you use these things? This is why I came up with my ear training course, honestly, back in 1989 when I taught college, and I used to teach ear training. And I was like, can you hear the difference of these chords? Can you hear the difference between a minor and major chord? And I kind of systematically figured out how to teach people to hear these intervals and hear these different tonalities of the modes even. Like, what does Aeolian, how does it sound different than Dorian? How does it sound different than Phrygian? How does major or Ionian sound different than Lydian that has a sharp 4? They're very different sounds. And learning to hear them is kind of a cool thing. So, anyhow, if you want to learn how to hear these things and know what you're listening to, then you should check out my ear training course. You can get all 4 of my courses for $89. Sale goes until Tuesday night. You guys are awesome. I really appreciate you hanging in there and going on this excursion with me. I love these live streams that kind of just go to a different place. And like, what is the sound of minor? Like, why is F minor? Why do people write in F minor? It seems like a weird key. And how does F minor sound different than E minor? And we heard it. We're hearing the colors of the sounds. All right, go to rickbeato.com. You can find it there. Have a great rest of your weekend. And hit the subscribe button here and Rick Beato too, my other channel. We'll see you guys. Have a great weekend. Take care.